Have you ever stopped to think about the weight of a mistake that can never be erased? In Fullmetal Alchemist, there's a scene that marked an entire generation. Elric's gaze as he lost his brother Alphonse in the forbidden human transmutation. It wasn't just a failure. It was the raw pain of consequence, the proof that tampering with the untouchable exacts a merciless price. It all began with an innocent, yet desperate promise to bring their mother back. Edward and Alphonse, still so young, decided to defy the laws of alchemy. Believing that knowledge and courage would be enough to break the greatest taboo, they truly thought they could overcome the impossible. But in that transmutation circle, hope turned into tragedy. The glow of alchemy filled the room. The walls shook, matter twisted, and for an instant it seemed like the dream could work. But within seconds, horror struck. The price of their audacity appeared before Edward's eyes. First, Alphonse's body began to be sucked into the void, and he could do nothing. Edward's desperate gaze is one of the most powerful in all of anime. It wasn't just pain, it was helplessness. The realization that he had condemned his own brother. His scream echoed not only in the scene but in the memory of every fan. It was the sound of absolute loss. And in that moment, Ed not only saw his brother disappear, he also lost a part of himself, sacrificing his own leg in exchange for nothing. Alchemy, which once seemed like a gift, revealed itself as a merciless curse. This moment is not just the beginning of the Elric brothers' journey, it is the weight they carry until the end. Edward, staring into the void where Al once stood, bore in his eyes the mark of one who challenged the gods, and lost. And here, in the middle of this grim memory, let me tell you about something very different, but which also touches dreams and experiences. The Nintendo Switch 02025 portable console. Imagine holding in your hands the chance to dive into entire worlds, with vibrant colors and incredible portability. An experience that, unlike alchemy, doesn't demand a cruel price, but delivers pure fun wherever you are. Back to the scene. The most impactful thing is realizing how, in seconds, their lives changed forever. It wasn't just a physical loss. It was the loss of innocence, of the belief that everything could be achieved with effort and study. Edward cried, but more than tears he carried guilt in his eyes, because deep down he knew he had dragged Alphonse into that fate, and that guilt would become the fuel of his entire journey. It's fascinating to see how the anime builds this so symbolically. Edward's gaze at that instant is like a mirror for us. How far would we go for someone we love? What would we be willing to risk to change destiny? And the answer, as painful as it is, becomes clear in their path. Edward didn't give up. He didn't let that loss be the end. Using his own arm, he sacrificed even more of himself to bind Alphonse's soul to a suit of armor. A desperate act, but also one of love. And it's this contrast that makes the scene so memorable. On one side, the fatal mistake. On the other, the desperate attempt to repair the irreparable. Edward's gaze is both a silent apology and a promise of redemption. This initial moment becomes the heart of Fullmetal Alchemist. Everything we see later, every battle, every discovery, every moral dilemma was born from that mistake. It's because of that gaze, that instant of pain, that the Elric brothers move forward, in search of the Philosopher's Stone and a way to reclaim what they lost. But deep down, no power can completely erase what happened. Edward's gaze as he lost his brother is the constant reminder that some mistakes shape who we are forever. And maybe that's why this scene is so unforgettable, because it's not just about alchemy. It's about us. About the mistakes we make, the people we hurt, the things we cannot bring back. It's a painful, yet real, metaphor. Tampering with forces we don't understand always comes at a cost. However, just like Edward, we also carry within us the ability to turn guilt into strength and loss into motivation. So I ask you, if you had the chance to change destiny, even knowing the risk, would you dare to cross the forbidden line, or step back before facing the price?